Greetings, humans. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods. But true heroes are our veterans from the greatest generations. A few weeks back, Bear was reading a script he wrote about the Japanese internment and the group of men who went off to war fighting for a country that had interned them. This is their story, the most decorated unit in U.S. Army history. Thank you for watching, and Bear hopes that you enjoy.
Heading for Hawaii, crossroads of the Pacific, the United States fleet on one of its frequent visits presents an imposing pageant of sea power. Mighty men of war, but at the same time happy homes for the thousands of men aboard as they sail the seven seas. Hey, what's the idea? No, that's not a flood. It's just the Pacific coming aboard.
Fade in, exterior, and our location, which is in Aweigh, Hawaii. And we have a morning on the outskirts of a large sugar plantation. A lonely farmhouse greets the start of a beautiful Hawaiian Sunday. Squawk! Kenji Yoshito, 17, is determined to keep up with the little baby chicklet as it runs around the front yard, just out of reach. Kenji Yoshito, little rascal in Japanese. Kenji dives after the little bird and catches it. The yellow chick looks back at Kenji, covered in mud. Kenji makes sure not to let go and returns to his business. Interior, chicken coop, morning. The tight quarters have chickens everywhere. In a small nook are two boxes. One box is marked male, another female. Kenji turns on a light and holds the rogue chick up, examining the bird closely. He places the chick in the female box and double checks everyone else. Suddenly, the chicken coop starts to shake violently. Exterior, Aweigh, Hawaii, morning. Kenji looks around the yard. To the north, a deep rumble. Hundreds of airplanes fill the morning sky. A wave of them peels off and dives down to the earth. Explosions. Nearby Marine Corps Air Base, Aweigh is under attack. Kenji, Mom! Kenji hurries towards the house. Zoom! A flight of Japanese Zeros hurtle past unmolested. Only a few hundred feet away, the rising sun emblem clearly visible. For a brief second, Kenji and one of the pilots lock eyes. The two look identical. The pilot may be a few years older. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Waves of Japanese fighters and Kate bombers spread into their formation. Their target, Pearl Harbor. A truck crashes into the front yard. The driver quickly jumps out and flees into the sugar fields. A Kate bomber takes notice and screams down. Fires. Boom! The truck goes up in flames. Kenji, Mom! Kenji sprints as fast as he can, bullets striking all around. The attack barely misses Kenji, but hits the chicken coop. The structure crumbles into splinters. Interior, Kenji's farmhouse, moments later. Kenji enters through the back door, miraculously unscathed, and sees his lovely sister, Kame Yoshito, 19, timidly curled up in a corner. Kenji, are you okay? Where's Mama? She points to the kitchen where father, Maso Yoshito, 53, projects an aura of peace as he looks out the kitchen window. Kenji runs in and spots his mother, Tsuro Yoshito, 47, behind a decorative icebox. Her steady demure turned frightened. Kenji, Mama, stay there, don't move. Father, look, have you seen such a... Boom! A shockwave shakes the farmhouse. Kenji and his father watch through the kitchen window as a huge plume of black smoke rises from the battleship row. Smash cut. Title, Go for Broke. Exterior, Kenji's farmhouse, evening, and this is later at 5:30 p.m. The crashed truck still smolders in the ditch. Little chicks roam the front yard, freed from their coop. Suddenly, 3 vehicles pull up to the Yoshito home. They belong to the U.S. government. One 1941 Chevy Suburban, which is an awesome car, followed by 2 GMC Deuce and a Half Army trucks, which are also pretty cool. Interior, Kenji's farmhouse, moments later. Knock, knock, knock. Father answers the door. MP1 and 2, 20s, force their way inside. They clear the way for 5 FCC guys, 30s, brainiacs in white coats. Father, what's the idea? FCC guy number 1. Signals coming from in here. Mother and sister rushing to the living room. Who are they, Maso? Father, don't be afraid, my flower. FBI agent Callahan, 30s, typical G-man, and FBI agent Miller, same, enter the small home. FBI agent Callahan. Good, that saves us some questions. Maso Yoshito, I'm Special Agent Callahan, and this is my partner, Agent Miller. We're here to SCC Guide number 2. Sir, we have it. FBI agent Callahan is handed a shortwave radio. And on the radio, he's speaking in Japanese, which actually happened. Chopsticks, we don't want to set the world on fire. Talk to you tomorrow. And it fades away. The signal fades away. FBI agent Callahan. What is this? Where did it come from? Where did it come from? FBI agent Miller. Well, look at this. FBI agent Miller sees several photos on the wall. All quite artistic. They depict scenes nearby taken by Kenji's sister. Many show battleships in Pearl Harbor. FBI agent Callahan. Mr. Yoshito, you are the head of the local sugar union, the workers' union, yes? Father nods politely. You and your wife, looks down at the manila envelope. Father, Suro, FBI agent Callahan, are very active in the Japanese Buddhist temple, yes? Father nods. Teach English to the local workers. You are very well spoken in both Japanese and English, correct? Father, if you say so. FBI agent Callahan. It's true. And you have also, Kenji enters, shielding several young chicks in his arm. Hey, what's going on here? Kenji tries to intervene, but MP2 quickly grabs a hold. The little chicks scatter on the floor. FBI agent Callahan. And you also have, Mr. Yoshito, this property, illegally deeded to your name, isn't that correct? It is. And that's true. They couldn't buy property back then. They could rent, but they couldn't buy. Kenji struggles with MP number 2. Only if Japanese own the deed. FBI agent Callahan. Quiet him, or I will. Father, do not dishonor me, son. Kenji ignores his father and continues to argue with the agents. What about our due process, huh? What is this? We're citizens. This is a violation of our due process and our Fourth Amendment rights. FBI agent Callahan. You some kind of lawyer? Kenji. I've applied to law school. FBI agent Miller. Maybe you haven't noticed, kid, but martial law has been declared. Welcome to the military district of Hawaii. FBI agent Callahan. Even if there was a judge in the territories to hear your case, FBI agent Miller, poor sap would have his home burned to the ground, home and office burnt to the ground. FBI agent Callahan. Don't make us bring you in as well. MP1 places father under arrest. Sister. Father! Kenji breaks free from MP2 and wrestles with MP1. MP2 hits Kenji in the head with his rifle butt. Kenji goes limp and falls to the floor. FBI agent Callahan. Grab them all. You know the drill. To the truck, let's go. The Yoshito family is hustled, or in Kenji's case, dragged outside of their own home. Exterior. Kenji's farmhouse moments later. The family is led to the GMC CCKW Deuce and a Half. Inside the canvas bed of the truck are more detainees of Japanese, Italian, and German heritage. The canvas flap closes behind them and the GMC drives away. Exterior, Honolulu, Hawaii, night at 7:30 p.m. A caravan of Army vehicles rumble through the busy streets of Honolulu. What remains of Battleship Row illuminates Pearl Harbor with a reddish glow well into the night. Interior, CCKW truck cabin moments later. Moving. That just means that it's inside the car and they're driving. MP1 and 2, young enlisted men, share the scuttlebutt. MP1. The 4th and 5th waves are coming in tonight. MP2. Covering them damn paratroopers, right? Hidden in them cane fields. MP1. And drop more. Don't know. Finish off Schofield Barracks, then come straight through the mountains, right into the city. MP2. Ninjas in the night, I tell you. He spits his tobacco. Then we can expect something. MP1. Jesus, Mary, and the GMC comes screeching to a halt. Exterior, Honolulu, Hawaii, moments later. Ahead, a large bus is smashed against an electric trolley. Black smoke billows into the air. MP1 and 2 exit, with rifles at the ready. The 2 FBI agents do the same. Interior, CCKW truck bed moments later. Kenji, still groggy, looks around. He recognizes some of the nervous prisoners. Leaders of Japanese organizations, charities, or temples. Kenji slowly gets up and, against his sister Kame's wishes, peeks out of an unsecure canvas flap. Exterior, Kenji's POV moments later. The collision has caused a chaotic scene. Traffic is backed up and the motorists are panicked. Rumble. Boom, 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 boom. Anti-aircraft batteries fire. They light up the night sky. MP1 and 2 do their part as well. They're firing. FBI Agent Miller. Go! Get back to the truck! MP1 and 2 swiftly run for the truck. Interior. CCKW truck bed moments later. Doors to the front cab slam shut. The truck lurches forward. The hefty army truck crashes through the traffic jam, and the impact knocks Kenji to the ground. Kame. Kenji! Kenji gets back up and peeks out of the canvas once again. Exterior. Kenji's POV moments later, traveling. As the truck hits full speed, they pass by a Japanese grocer. The store is on fire. An angry mob gathers outside. A fire truck arrives, quickly on scene. Instead of putting out the fire, the firemen turn the water hoses on the angry mob. Interior, CCKW truck bed. Moments later, Kenji closes the flap quickly and says to his father, "The people, they've gone mad." True. Father, we must stay together then. Division will get us nowhere. Exterior, rail depot, 9:34 p.m. A hastily constructed detention center holds the detainees in a recently evacuated horse stable guarded by the MPs. Father sits on the floor talking with an older man, and they're speaking in Japanese. Man, we take the light rail. Who knows how far? Father, and you're sure of this? A ship is taking us to the mainland? The man, they say submarines are out there. Sink us before we reach the mainland. Kenji, maybe that's the reason why. A naval officer, 32, smartly dressed, but on his last nerve, enters with civilian, 39, his superior, and a chain smoker. Naval officer, your attention please. If there are any Nisei, please step forward. Kenji, one of the few Nisei, which is a second-generation Japanese-American that has been rounded up, rises slowly. MP2 motions for Kenji. He walks over and faces the naval officer and the civilian. A rusty fence separates Kenji from his freedom. The naval officer flips through the thick manila folder and comes across a file with Kenji's picture on it. Naval officer, Hoover's boys think that your father is linked to a fifth column. Kenji blinks. According to our records, when he was your age, your father served in the Imperial Army, then came to America, married your mother, and taught English, formed a political union with field laborers, started an independence movement for their own state. Beautiful. Sounds like subversion to me. Kenji, you think these old men are the spearhead leading the invasion? My father's needs gave out years ago. We love America. Civilian, we've heard your English. Did your father teach Japanese as well? Kenji briefly looks back at his father. No, he never taught me. My father and I love my father. Civilian, yeah, and he gives you a hard time. Cry me a river, kid. Code breakers. Can you translate Japanese radio signals? Naval officer, take it back to your cousins. Show some American spirit. Kenji, you strip my rights, imprison my family, remove us from our home, and expect me to help you? I'm not the fool you make me out to be. MP2 grabs Kenji, pulling him against the rusty bars. Civilian, he lost some friends today. Whistle, from around the bend, a light rail train. Civilian, last chance, kid. Help us, and we'll look out for your family. Take that to the bank. Kenji, we're American citizens. Let us go. The civilian gives MP1 a nod. MP1 yells out, Everyone listen up. Yes, you old man. I want stalls 1 and 2. As the train pulls into the rail depot, MP1 readies the inmates for transport. MP2 holds Kenji against the bars, anger in his eyes. MP1, stand up, gather your possessions, and form a line. A single file line. Let's go, let's go. Single file, people. What did I just say? Several other inmates pass before Kenji is released. Kame runs over and grabs Kenji. Kenji shamefully shuffles with his family onto the train.